for those of you out there who are DC fans, this is not a good time for DC movies. No. No. No, you can say what you will. You can say that Wonder Woman can be the next hit. You can say that Batman v Superman is going to be epic. You can say Aquaman is going to be fantastic. You can say all this. But, as of right now, DC is reverted back to the exact same way that they were before 2014. They were in the unwary stage. They are in the stage where they are just testing things. They need to get a move on. Because you know what Marvel's been doing? Marvel recently has released the names of their next Phase 3 films. They've announced the actors of their Phase 3 films. They've announced Spider-Man. Spider-Man is to make an appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself. Kevin Feige and the director at Sony Pictures have managed to collaborate together to work on some sort of agreement to merge Spider-Man and the Avengers into one. Now, what this is saying is pretty much Marvel doesn't have the rights back to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is still owned and pretty much, owned by Sony Pictures themselves. And Marvel has, when it's in their movie, when Spider-Man is in their movie, they get creative license over what happens to the character. When one of Marvel's characters, like Iron Man or Captain America, is in a Spider-Man movie, how cool would that be? Sony has full direction of that. Granted, each of them are going to be taking apart from each other. Sony is going to be referring back to Kevin Feige, saying, because if I'm correct, they do want to keep the Spider-Man within the same timeline. They do. I'm pretty sure they do. But they want to keep it in the same universe as the Avengers. So they're going to have to refer back to Kevin Feige for direction. Because you can't just go off making whatever you want and say, like, oh, New York got blown up when in Avengers it never really did. Which is, I'm talking about post the Avengers 2012. I'm talking about, like, saying in a Spider-Man movie, New York blows up or whatever because of Electro. And it's like, that can't be referenced in Avengers. No. It has to be linked, carefully threaded together through the MCU and the Spider-Man universe itself, while keeping them separate at the same time. They are in the same universe now, but they are going to also be separate, if that makes any sense. Sony has pretty much said, hey, we are going to put Spider-Man in your movies for the sake of us, because we need a jumpstart. Sony needs a jumpstart with Spider-Man. Granted, the last movie was a hit. Technically it was. But it was not as big a hit as, say, The Amazing Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2. It was not as good as those movies, and only made, I believe, $706 million domestically, I believe. And that's not good. That is not good at all. And Sony, we've been hearing rumors. We had the Sony hack going around. We had revealing that Marvel's been working out deals with Sony to get Spider-Man into the movies. We've heard Sony firing Andrew Garfield because he said some stuff. I don't know. I love Andrew Garfield. Can we please get him in here? I know that would screw up continuity. I know that would just be a total backlash to the last Amazing Spider-Man movies. But I loved Andrew Garfield. I thought he was a great Spider-Man. If we can't get him, that's fine. I'm not like a nerd that says it has to be this way, it has to be this one person. No, I don't care. But I want Andrew Garfield back. He was such a good Spider-Man. But unfortunately, that is not the case. We are getting a totally new Spider-Man in the MCU who is going to make a debut, and everybody's going around saying it's confirmed that he's going to be in Captain America Civil War, which, do not misunderstand me. That is it's not probably, it is the most logical choice for Marvel to put Spider-Man into. Granted, is he going to have the big role that he had in the comics? No. This is a 1-7 issue of Civil War, but everyone's saying he's not going to have like the big, giant status that he had in Civil War, which I don't think he played. Look, I get it. He played a big part. He was sort of like in the middle. He was like Captain America wanted him on his side, Tony Stark wanted him on his side, and at first Spider-Man goes with Tony Stark and he reveals his secret identity. Then, some reason, he goes back to Captain America's side and is like, screw you, Tony. And I don't get that. I never saw him as that big a part. It just seemed like Marvel Comics needed someone to tug of war on. So, yeah, I don't need him in Civil War. It would be awesome. I would love to see Spider-Man's witty dialogue go up against like Captain America or Tony Stark. I would love to see those two on screen together. But I'm not a geek, a total geek to the point where it's like you have to have every character in this movie to make it. I don't care. I honestly don't. Then he could be making an appearance in the Avengers Age of Ultron end credit scene, which think about this. My idea for what the end credit scene leading into both Captain America's Civil War and possibly the new Spider-Man movie, which is set to release on July 28th, 2017. Which actually, let me talk about this first. Spider-Man has, with the announcement of this new Marvel Cinematic Universe Spider-Man movie released in July 28th, 2017, that has pushed back every other film that comes after Guardians of the Galaxy 2, aside from the two Avengers movies. Those two Avengers movies stay the same. But Thor Ragnarok itself has been pushed back to... hold on. Here we go. Thor Ragnarok will hit theaters... Oh my gosh. This thing's so slow. Okay, Thor Ragnarok will hit the theaters on November 3rd, 2017, which was originally Black Panther's release date. And Black Panther will now be released on July 6th of 2018. Which is at... I don't want to have an ad. Oh my gosh. I hate ads on websites. I hate them so much. But Black Panther is going to be on July 6th of 2018, which was originally Captain Marvel's spot to shine. Captain Marvel has officially been confirmed to be pushed back to November 2nd of 2018, which was the Inhumans' place to shine. Inhumans will now debut in theaters on July 12th, 2019, after Infinity War. Now, what I'm getting at here is that I don't know if Marvel's going to be keeping the ideas they had in mind for these films, because the characters of... I know Captain Marvel pretty much probably wouldn't stay the same, because it doesn't really change. It's still in between Avengers Part 1 and 2. So, nothing really will change there, but I don't know. They're probably going to have to shift things around for Black Panther and, like, Inhumans, pretty much, because Black Panther is apparently in the timeline is shown in the middle of Part 1 and 2. I don't know if Black Panther is going to be like in before Avengers Part 1 or 2. I don't know what the time set is on that, or whether Inhumans is going to be before or after. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just thinking maybe Marvel's going to have to shuffle a lot of things around rather than release dates. So that's a downer, but hey, I get a Spider-Man movie from Marvel in 2017 that's my graduation year. So I get Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Spider-Man, a new Spider-Man movie in 2017. So that is awesome. I love that. But getting back at what I was saying earlier, an end credit scene for Avengers Age of Ultron, what I was thinking was, and I get it, Ant-Man comes after Avengers Age of Ultron. It comes out in July 21st or something like that, I believe, this year. So, what my theory is for all the phase coming up is that Ant-Man is going to either be taking place during the Avengers Age of Ultron movie, or maybe before Avengers Age of Ultron, in a sense. Maybe it happens before then, because I want this to be an end credit scene for Avengers Age of Ultron to lead into Civil War. This would be great if you actually saw the, like, I don't know, like old 1940s, 50s, like flashes of newspapers flying up onto the screen saying, or something like, or documents saying, superhero registration law enacted. And then you go down and, like, you see these lights flash up saying, Tony Stark is signing on for the superhero registration. Captain America has been filed a vigilante against the government for rejecting the registration. And then you cut to a press conference of Tony Stark right on stage saying, we are going to be released. Actually, no, the more I think about this, it's that they're... Actually, no, this could still work. This could still work. But then you could have Tony Stark saying, we would like to introduce a new member of our team onto the new Avengers Registrated Act, or whatever. And it's Spider-Man. And apparently it could be like, you know, Spider-Man's been kicking for the past 3 years, I don't know, and he's become famous in New York again. And then he Spider-Man just takes off his mask, and you don't see the face, you just see the back of him take off his mask in front of the public. And I get it. Civil War is not going to be about secret identities, because there are no secret identities in the Marvel movies. Kevin Feige even said this is going to be about the government versus the superheroes, and whether or not the superheroes should work for the government themselves. I get it, but in the grand scheme of things, Spider-Man has always kept his secret identity. And I don't know, it would be cool, it would be a nice little nod saying, hey, this is what the original Civil War was meant, but I'm up for change. I'm not saying it has to be this way, no. But if they do decide to do that in the end credit scene of Avengers 2, they could have 2 end credit scenes. That would be awesome. If they do it at the end of Ant-Man, for all I care, that would be awesome. I just want to see that end credit scene, like, I don't know, a reference back to the ending of issue number 2 of Civil War, which yeah. Hold on, let me check. Where is it? Yeah, it's right here. Okay, here we go. Like, I don't know. You just see this shot of Spider-Man. You just see him start to take off the mask. I would totally be up for it. So it would be like... Yeah, oh my gosh. I totally lost... Yeah, so Tony Stark at the press conference announcing it. Spider-Man reveals, takes off his mask. End credits. That would be awesome. That would be the best end credit scene Marvel's ever given us, aside from the one at the very end of the first Iron Man, where Nick Fury says, we're building up the Avengers, and Tony Stark is like, what? This would be the best end credit scene of any Marvel movie ever. And, oh my gosh, with Spider-Man being officially confirmed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this also gives us a chance to see him in Infinity War, or Infinity Gauntlet, but it's really called Infinity War. But the more superheroes for Infinity War, the better. I believe the more you have, the better chance you have, even though they don't really stand a chance at all, in a sense. I don't know. But Spider-Man in the Infinity Gauntlet, people are going around saying that he's going to be in it. It wouldn't surprise me if Sony came out and said, you know what? You can have him for these 2 movies, because fans are really going to want to see him, and if you do that, that will really kickstart our universe to get him in Infinity Gauntlet. And the other solo Spider-Man movie is July 28, 2017. So, yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in Infinity Gauntlet. I'm pretty sure it was confirmed by Kevin Feige himself. I don't remember the article. I don't remember if it said whether or not it was confirmed that he was going to be in Infinity War, but I wouldn't be surprised, because the more heroes you have, the better. I believe that this is a smart move for Sony themselves, not necessarily Marvel. Marvel doesn't need Spider-Man. They don't need Spider-Man, because they're on a track record. I mean, if you were to say Spider-Man's never going to be joining the MCU, that would be a disappointment to fans. But as a whole, Marvel doesn't need Spider-Man. They don't need Spider-Man because they have so many other characters. They brought in Guardians of the freaking Galaxy, and that became a hit. That became my all-time favorite comic book movie, okay? So, Spider-Man, I'm glad that he's in here, and thank you, Sony. You are making a good decision. I'm not against Sony making Spider-Man movies. I'm not. I believe the Spider-Man 2 was good. I think all the Spider-Man movies are good except for The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one. I thought that one was great. So, So yeah, aside from that, Spider-Man in the MCU, what do you think about it? If you have any opinions on it, comment in the box below, and if you like this video and you want to see more updates on comic book movies to come, please click the subscribe button. I'm sure to have more coming soon, so thanks for watching, peace.